Hello students, welcome to Physics Fact. I am here Smriti. In this video, we discuss mass defect, binding energy and binding energy per nucleon. So first we discuss about mass defect. Before go to the topic, you first watch the previous video of this topic. That is, in this previous video, we will discuss about what is nucleus, what is the composition of nucleus, size of nucleus, volume of nucleus, density of nucleus, and what is atomic mass unit, and how we related atomic mass unit into mega electron volt. That all discussed in that previous video, and that video link is in the I button, also in description box. You first check the first video of this lesson, and this one is the second video. Here we discuss about mass defect. What do you mean by mass defect? That means if we take an element, that element denoted by X, and that atomic number of the element that is denoted by Z, and here is the mass number. That mass number is the sum of proton and the neutron number. That means mass number is the sum of number of proton and number of neutron. Then how we know about the number of neutron? The number of neutron is equal to A minus Z. Okay. Now, see here, this one is one atom and electron are revolving around the nucleus. That nucleus is consisting of number of nucleons. Nucleons means that both proton and neutron is known as nucleons. That nucleus is consisting of number of nucleons. Take as the actual mass of this nucleus. Take as the actual mass of this nucleus, that is capital M. That is the actual mass of this nucleus, that is take as capital M. And if we take that mass of proton, take as that mass of proton, that is MP, okay, and the mass of neutron, that is Mn, then in the nucleus, how many number of proton is present? That number of proton, that is denoted by Z. So, number of proton, that is equal to Z. So, what is the total mass of proton? Total mass of proton, that is equal to ZMP. You clear, students? Now, mass of one neutron, that is taken as Mn, and number of neutron, that is equal to number of neutron, that is denoted by capital N, or in the previous we discussed that N equals to A minus Z. The total mass of neutron, that is equal to NMN, or we denote as A minus ZMN. Yes, student. So here what happened? Actually, if we take that mass of proton, that mass of individual proton, that means see here, here that 3 proton is present, 1, 2, 3. That means if we take mass of individual proton and mass of individual neutron, see 1, 2, 3, 4, mass of individual neutron, and add the all. If we add the mass of every individual nucleons, then the mass of every individual nucleons is greater compared to the mass of this actual nucleus. How it possible? Just see with the example. Okay, see with the example. Take that helium nucleus. That helium nucleus, that means that is 2He4. That means it have 2 proton and 2 neutron. Okay. See here student, if one proton have mass this much 1.00727 AMU, then mass of 2 proton that is equals to 2 into this value, that is equals to 2.01454 AMU. Then mass of one neutron that is equal to 1.00866 AMU. Then what is the mass of 2 neutron? That is 2 into this value. So how you got? That is 2 into this value, that means 2.01732 AMU. So student, what is the sum of this 2 proton and 2 neutron? See student, in case of helium nucleus, there is 2 proton and 2 neutron present. Then what is the total mass of this individual nucleus? 2 proton and 2 neutron. We put the value of 2 proton and also the mass of 2 neutron. What we got? That is 4.03186 AMU. See here student, this one is the sum of the mass of all the individual nucleons, and this value is greater compared to the actual mass of nucleus, and that difference is known as mass defect. The sum of individual nucleons, that means the mass of 2 proton plus mass of 2 neutron, that is equal to that value 4.03186 AMU, and the actual mass of nucleus that is equal to 4.00153 AMU. Then what is the mass defect between these two? So mass defect, that is denoted by delta M. The difference of mass of individual nucleons to the actual mass of nucleons. Subtract this, that you got mass defect. What value comes here? That is 0.03033 AMU. I think on the basis of this example, you totally clear what is mass defect. Now we go to the general formula for the mass defect. See here student, mass of one proton, that is MP. So number of proton, that is Z, means total number of proton, that is ZMP. Likewise mass of one neutron, that is Mn. Number of neutron, that is N. So total mass of neutron NMN, or in case of N, we written that A minus Z Mn. So what is the total mass of the nucleons. The total mass of the nucleons, that is equals to ZMP plus A minus ZMN. A minus ZMN. Okay. So that mass defect is denoted by delta M. Okay. And we know that student, this value, this total mass of nucleons is greater compared to the actual mass of nucleus, and that difference, that mass difference is known as mass defect. So how we calculate the difference between these two? So delta M equals to, we subtract this from this. Okay, that is ZMP plus A minus ZMN minus capital M. That equation gives the general formula for mass defect. You clear, students? See here, students, here we discuss about binding energy. What do you mean by binding energy? It is the amount of energy when we given to a nucleus, then all the nucleons release, or we say that emit from nucleus. That means that by this amount of energy, nucleus is split into number of nucleons, or the nucleons are released or emit from nucleus. That amount of energy is known as binding energy, and binding energy is different for different element. For hydrogen, that binding energy is less. For nitrogen, that binding energy is different. For iron, that binding energy more. And how it differ, we discuss on it briefly. Okay? See here, student. We know that nucleus is consisting of proton and neutron. When we take the mass of all proton, that is equal to ZMP, where MP, that is mass of one proton, Z is the number of protons, so total mass of proton, that is ZMP. And as we take the mass of one neutron, that is Mn, and number of neutron, that is N, or N equals to A minus Z. In the place of N, we put A minus Z, Mn. That is the total mass of neutron. When we add the mass of proton and the mass of neutron, that means when we add the total mass of proton and total mass of neutron, that means the total mass of nucleons, here the total mass of nucleons is greater compared to the actual mass of nucleus. Total mass of nucleons is greater compared to the actual mass of nucleus. Okay? Then that difference is known as mass defect. Yes, delta M equals to ZMP plus A minus ZMN minus M. That is known as mass defect, and here this mass defect, this small amount of mass is converted into energy, and that amount of energy when we provide to a nucleus, that nucleus split into number of nucleons. Okay, then how we know that this amount of mass is converted into energy? According to Einstein mass energy relation, that E equal to mc square, where here mass is converted into energy as well as energy is converted into mass. So here in the case of mass, we have the difference of mass, that is denoted by mass defect, and this mass defect is converted into energy. That means when all the individual nucleons present, if we provide this amount of energy to these nucleons, they are come closer and bind together inside the nucleus. We also say that the amount of energy by which all the nucleons hold together inside the nucleus, that energy is known as binding energy. Also, the same amount of energy when we provide to a nucleus, that nucleus release or emit all the nucleons. Clear, students? So here that binding energy is denoted by EB. Binding energy is denoted by EB. EB equal to delta M into C square. Okay, students? See here, student. Delta M is in the form of some value into AMU. Okay. And we know that the relation between AMU and MEV, that is 1 AMU is equal to 931.5 MEV. Okay. So here in the case of delta M, we have some value that is in the form of AMU. Then as we convert this mass into energy, we simply multiply magnitude of mass defect into 931.5 MeV. That means here we represent that binding energy EB is in the place of delta M, we put the formula, that is ZMP plus A minus ZMN minus M into 931.5 mega electron volt. You clear, students? Now here we discuss binding energy for helium nucleus. So that with the help of this example, you clear about binding energy. See here, student, binding energy, that is equals to delta M into C square. The mass defect for helium nucleus, that is equals to 0.03033 AMU. And we know that 1 AMU is equals to 931.5 mega electron volt. So this much AMU is equal to how much mega electron volt? You simply multiply, that is 0.03033 into 931.5 mega electron volt. Okay. Then as we multiply these two, we got 28.252395 mega electron volt. This is the binding energy for helium nucleus. See here, student, helium nucleus that have mass number 4. That means it have 2 proton and 2 neutron. Yes. This is the amount of energy when we provide to the helium nucleus. 4 nucleon are released from this nucleus. Now here we discuss that binding energy per nucleon. Binding energy per nucleon. That means if 28.25 2395 megaelectron volt energy as we provide to the nucleus, that 4 nucleons are released, then what is the amount of energy? If we provide to the helium nucleus, only 1 nucleon is released. Only a single nucleon released from the nucleus. That energy is known as binding energy per nucleon. Binding energy per nucleon, that means the amount of energy when we provide to a nucleus, only single nucleon released from the nucleus. That energy is known as binding energy per nucleon. See here student, with this example, if 4 nucleon are released from the nucleus, this is the binding energy. If only 1 nucleon is released from the nucleus, how much energy is required? That is binding energy divided by 4. If 4 nucleon release this amount of energy required, then 1 nucleon release, how much energy required by the nucleus? That is total binding energy divided by 4. Yes. So see, what is the binding energy per nucleon for helium nucleus? See here, the binding energy, that is 28.252395 megaelectron volt divided by 4. Here we clear that binding energy per nucleon, that means binding energy divided by number of nucleon. Number of nucleon means the mass number. Mass number nothing but that is the sum of proton and neutron. That means the number of all nucleons. Okay. So as we calculate what is the binding energy per nucleon, then we simply put the binding energy value divided by total number of nucleons. See here student, this binding energy, that is delta M C square divided by A. That is the binding energy per nucleon. Now students, here we discuss binding energy curve. That means here we take binding energy per nucleon along one axis and mass number, that means the number of proton and neutron, that is taken along another axis, and draw the graph. Here what happens student, in just previous we discussed that for helium nucleus, that binding energy per nucleon, that is equals to 7.06309 megaelectron volt. That means that is nearly here 7 point some value. That means here helium is having binding energy per nucleon this value, and hydrogen having binding energy per nucleon, that is 1 point something. That means this amount of energy, if we provide to a helium nucleus, here what happen? Only one nucleons release from the nucleus. That energy is known as binding energy per nucleon. Now here what happen? As we calculate for every individual element what is the binding energy and put the value and draw the curve, that curve shows that initially that curve is increases steply. Steply means in somewhere up and in somewhere down. That increases steply. Then it gradually increases up to a maximum value, that is in case of iron. In case of iron, that binding energy per nucleon, that is maximum, that is high for iron. Okay, that iron have atomic mass or mass number, that is 56, and at that case the binding energy per nucleon, that means the amount of energy required to release one nucleons from this nucleus, that is known as binding energy per nucleon, and that value is maximum for iron, that is 8.8 megaelectron volt. Up to this much, that graph is gradually increase, and further as the mass number increases, that curve is gradually slow down. Okay, that means overall here we conclude that the mass number student, atomic number nuha, mass number in between 30 to 170, 30 to 170, these elements are stable. These elements are stable. Mass number which is greater than 30 and less than 170, those elements which is present in between 30 to 170, they have high value of binding energy per nucleon. So, these elements are more stable compared to the other. As we go to that atomic mass or the mass number less than 30, these are the lighter nuclei. These are the lighter nuclei and they are also unstable. Lighter nuclei, they are also unstable. And as we go from the higher order, that means that mass number is greater than 170, those elements which mass number or atomic mass greater than 170, they are heavy nuclei. They are heavy nuclei. They also unstable. That means here what we conclude, the mass number which is greater than 170 or less than 30, both are unstable. The lighter nuclei which are less than 30 and the heavier nuclei which have mass number greater than 170, both are unstable. That both the lighter nuclei, this lighter nuclei and the heavier nuclei, both wants to be stable. How it happen? If the heavier nuclei split into smaller nuclei. See, one heavier nuclei take as uranium. Split into smaller nuclei, then its mass number becomes less than 170 and the heavier nuclei converted into lighter nuclei and it becomes stable. You see student, this process is known as fission. This process is known as fission, where one heavy nuclei is split into lighter nuclei. And why it happened? Due to all the unstable nuclei are wants to become stable. All the unstable nuclei wants to become stable. So the heavier nuclei split to lighter nuclei. Likewise, the lighter nuclei which mass number is less than 30, that lighter nuclei combine. That means number of hydrogen atom, 2 or 3 or 4 number of hydrogen atom combine and form helium nucleus. Okay, hydrogen nucleus combine and form helium nucleus. That means the lighter nuclei combine and form heavier nuclei. Lighter nuclei combine and form heavier nuclei. This process is known as fusion. By the process of fission and fusion, in these two process, all the unstable nuclei wants to be stable. In the next video, we clearly discuss about the process of fission and fusion. Thank you, students.